Bright QT. Every student matters.
Now let us see, apart from the derivation, what type of exact questions we will be getting. Fine, let us see. The first question is quite simple. We will be given a circuit diagram. Fine, no other values given. Alright, this is the value of R1 2 ohm, this is the value of R2 3 ohm. We will be asked to calculate the total resistance of this circuit. Quite easy, I know simply that total resistance in series is the sum total of individual resistances R1 and R2. R1 we are considering to be 2 ohm, R3 considering to be 3 ohm. So simply 2 ohms plus 3 ohms, the answer for me is total resistance will be 5 ohm. Now instead of these two, if I am given one more resistance, that is 5 ohm, simple once again, I will just add on this thing also, total resistance will be equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So now I will get 10 ohms, that will be my requisite answer. Got it? Fine. Now I will be just having a bit complex questions. For attempting any type of questions that we will be doing now, I will give you some tips. Fine. So first of all, try to relate the tip and then we will see how to further solve the numericals based on these things. Let us try. Tips or steps to solve numericals based on circuit diagrams. Based on circuit diagrams, there are different type of questions that you will be facing. Initially, the initial type of questions will be taking these steps. After performing these steps, all the questions will be very easy for you people. Now, what are the steps? Let us see. What we will do is, first of all, always calculate total R, total resistance of the circuit. This will be our first endeavor, our first try. We have to calculate the total resistance or the R of the circuit, right. Now, the second step is, out of V and I, V is the total potential difference and I is the total current. Out of V and I, one thing will always be given in question. One thing will always be given in question. So, calculate the remaining. One thing is given, the another thing, the remaining part we have to calculate by using, how we are going to calculate? By using Ohm's law, which states V is equal to IR. Now, R we have calculated in the first step. Out of V and I, if one thing is given to us, of course, we can just calculate the third one. Simple, right? Now, third step. In third step, now keep the equal to concept, equal to item in place in case of series. We know that I is equal to I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3. In series, we know that current is same. So, using this, because now we know the total current, so all that individual currents that we are given in the question, that will be same as that of total current because they are in series. Simply the fourth step is calculate the remaining values. Calculate the remaining values once again using Ohm's law. And what does this Ohm law state? We know that if V is equal to IR, therefore V1 should be equal to I1 R1 and V2 should be equal to I2 into R2 and so on. That's it. These are the 4 steps that I will be making you to follow while doing the numericals. How? Let us see and let us now apply these 4 steps. Fine. Now, we'll be given a question. These are the 3 resistances given to me. Fine. This is an ammeter connected. This is a battery I have taken. This is a plug key switched on, plus, minus. Fine. The arrow showing the direction of current. I am given 3 resistances. The value of each is given to me. This is 2 ohms. This is, let us take 3 ohms, and this is, let us take 5 ohms. Right? In the battery, 6 volts is given to us. Fine. Now, in this particular question, what will be asked is, in the circuit diagram given along, we may be asked to calculate, find total R, total resistance, that is R, or we may be asked to find current in any resistance. Maybe if he will say 2 ohm resistance or 3 ohm resistance or 5 ohm resistance, or he may ask us find the potential difference in 2 ohm resistor or 3 ohm resistor or 5 ohm resistor. Fine. Alright. So, I may be asked anything, or he may ask to calculate the total current. Alright. Or we may be asked the total current in the circuit. Fine. Now, students, let us try to first of all see exactly what are the things given to us and what are all the possible things we may be asked to find out. Let us see. This 2 ohm resistance, let us give a name. This is our R1. Fine. This 3 ohm resistance, let us be giving it R2, and 5 ohm resistance, let us consider to be R3. So, in this question, R1, R2 and R3 are given to us. Let us circle these values, that these values are given to us in the question, right. Now, the current in the 2 ohm resistance will be I1, the current in the 3 ohm resistance will be I2, and current in the 3rd ohm resistance will be I3. Similarly, the potential difference across 2 ohm resistance will be V1, potential difference across 3 ohm resistance will be V2, and potential difference across 5 ohm resistance will be V3. This is when I am talking about the individual resistances. I have said R1, here current will be I1, potential difference V1. R2, the current in this particular resistance will be I2 and potential difference V2. Similarly, R3, I3 and V3. These are the individual values I am talking about. Fine. Then, if I talk about the whole of the circuit, then total potential difference, total resistance, total current, these are yet another 3 things that we need to know. Now, in this question, try to find out what exactly is given to us. This 6 volt value which is given here at with the battery in the circuit diagram, this is total potential difference, right. This arrow over here, it is shown I, the value is not shown to me, total R not known to me right now. Now, In this question, we may be asked any of these things. Let us see what exactly are these. If he is asking us to calculate or find the total resistance, that means he is asking us to find the value of R, right? If he is asking total current, that means he is asking us to find total current. If he is asking current in 2 ohm resistance, in 2 ohm resistance the current value, that means he is asking I1. In 3 ohm resistance, that means he is asking to find out I2, and in 5 ohm resistance he is asking us to find us I3. Similarly, potential difference in 2 ohm resistance means we are required to find out V1. In 3 ohm resistance we are required to find out V2, or in 5 ohm resistance we are required to find out V3. Got it? Fine. So I1, I2, I3, V1, V2, V3, nothing is known to us right now. He may ask us to find anything out of it. Got it? Now, the steps that we have taken to solve such questions, seemingly a bit of hodgepodge out here, seemingly a bit dreadful kind of figure being made. So, you must be worried about, sir, this is difficult, seemingly difficult, but it's not. Let us see. We need to follow simple steps. What did we write above? Let us relate. Each step we will just relate again and again. First of all, calculate the total resistance of the circuit. Coming back to our figure, I'll go up and down again and again. So please follow this, right? First of all, calculate. This was our first step. Calculate total resistance. Now, when I am talking about total resistance to be calculated in the series combination, I am talking about the sum total of R1 plus R2 plus R3. That I know, the formula I know. Simply put it up. So now total R will become R1 is given to be 2 ohms, R2 is given to be 3 ohms, and R3 is given to be 5 ohms. Simply I have got 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 5 is 10 ohms. This is my total resistance. So first milestone achieved, first topic, first point, first thing that was asked in the question calculated. Now among these I will put a circle wherever I see that I have calculated it. The total V was given to me in the question to be 6 volts. I have told you. Total R I have found out, right? This was our first step. Got it? Now, what did I write in the second step? Again, go back. Out of V and I, one thing will always be given in the question. So, calculate the leftover, the remaining thing by using Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. So, let us come back again to our question. One thing out of V and I was given, and in this case we are given with 6 volt, that is total V. So total V is given out to be 6 volts. Total V means potential difference. So what I'll do is I can find out this current. How? Simply by using Ohm's law. V is equal to IR, therefore I will be equal to V upon R. Now V is given to be 6 volts, R I have calculated to be 10 ohms. That means this is my current I is equal to 0.6 amperes. Circle it. I have just calculated total I. So now if my question just is limited to finding out the total resistance or the total current in the circuit, I am already through with it. I have already calculated. That is just my answer. But if he is asking you to find some other thing, like as we have said, he is asking you to find the current in the first or second or third resistance, he is asking you to find the potential difference in any of these, then in that case we will proceed with our third step. Let us see first of all the genuineness and the clarification, the understanding of first two concepts. Always calculate the total resistance, that we did. Then out of V and I, one thing will be given in the question, we need to calculate the another thing, that we did using Ohm's law. If the further question is asking something, then I will take up my third step, that is now keep the equal to item in place, and in series we know that I is equal to I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3. Coming back to our solution again, we saw that I we have calculated to be 0.6 amperes, and if I is equal to 0.6 amperes, then this is also the value for I1 or I2 or I3. So now I1, I2 and I3 I can circle up, because now I got to know the values of I1, I2, I3, which is 0.6 amperes. Why? Because of that particular property that in series the individual current are always equal and are same as that of the total current. Got it? So this is my third step. Going back again, up down lot many times. I hope you are not finding it difficult. Next, the fourth step, calculating the remaining values by using Ohm's law. Down again. Now we are left with, all the things are circled. Let us see what we are left with. We are left with V1. Now how exactly we are going to calculate V1? V1, the formula is I1 into R1. I1 I know that is 0.6 amperes, multiply by R1, I was given out to be 2 ohms. It comes out to be simply 1.2 volts. That is my V1. If I want to calculate my V2, how I am going to calculate the V2? Simply V2 will be equal to I2 into R2. I2 is same 0.6 ampere. R2 was given out to be 3 ohms in the question, comes out to be 1.8 volts. Similarly, I need to calculate V3, which will be equal to I3 into R3, right? Now I3 is again 0.6, R3 was 5, coming out to be 3 volts. So now I can circle out V1, V2 and V3 too. I will not be asked to find all these things because it's quite lengthy. You will be just asked to find any of these values, and wherever you see that you have calculated that particular value, whichever is being asked, your answer is there and then only. So this is a very simple way. You need to relate what we have mentioned. We need to relate these 4 steps. Whenever we are given any numerical based on circuit diagrams, we simply need to follow these 4 steps. First, always calculate the total resistance of the circuit. Next, out of V and I, one thing will be given in the question. R you have already calculated in step number 1. Calculate the third part using Ohm's law. Next, calculate the next values using this third step, that in series current in the circuit totality is equal to the individual currents. I is equal to I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3, and then calculate the remaining values by using once again the Ohm's law, right? So students, if you have observed this particular thing, you will relate that all the numericals are being done with only these 4 particular things in mind. 1, in series R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4 and so on. V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 plus so on. I is equal to I1 is equal to I2 is equal to I3 and so on, and importantly V is equal to IR, or similarly V1 is equal to I1 into R1, similarly V2 is equal to I2 into R2 and V3 is equal to I3 into R3 and so on. So these are the only simple 4 concepts that we are going to use while solving all the questions based on series circuit diagrams, the resistances connected in series. Please go through them, try to relate them, and we will solve some more questions based on the same topic. Please try to relate, please try to understand and keep all these concepts in mind, right? Thank you so much.